Alright, just doing another test here. Trying to prove I'm not insane. So outdoor temperature 83 degrees. Sun's just about to go down, so it's finally cool enough a little bit here so I could try to run this test. So I got my current sensor hooked up to a little Arduino DC current, and then I got my other phone showing the cabin temperature since we don't have a cabin temp on the GUI, so it's showing us at 76, interior, exterior 75. So that doesn't line up with this number, which is kind of weird. So you can see the DC current sensor's drawing about an amp, and my battery is slightly charged here. Let's take a look at the battery settings here. 386 volts. I'm charging right now with a 20 mile per hour charge deal, but yeah, so we got 386 volts and 1.2 amps roughly drawing constantly. My temperature setting, manual, 72 degrees AC. Recirculate on. It's supposed to be 83 outside there. This claims it's 75. And yeah, we're just sitting here steady state. The car's been sitting here for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, cooling. And let's go back to battery. Sorry, HVAC. So you can see the PTC heater total hovering around 500, 600 watts. It's dipping down, but we can, if you tie it up to the current sensor sort of is detecting a little bit more current than what the scanmytesla app is, but I previously had verified that. You can quickly, if you turn this off, I'm going to turn it off right now. You can see that current drops down to 0 for the battery, for the PTC heater. So I'm going to start it up again, and you can see it kicks on pretty much pretty quickly. So yeah, 72. Let's just put it on auto for the heck of it, because people like to always say it's all about auto. So we're at auto. You can see it dropped down for a second here, but you will just give it a second. It's going to start coming back up. There you can see it starting to come back up here. So you got a short delay where it didn't draw power, but then it just wants to start using it again. So previously, when I pulled the PTC cabin heater from the CAN connector from the heater itself, if I pulled it, the AC would just keep getting cooler. It would go down to 60 degrees in the cabin, and and my temperature set point, would be 70, or even like if I put it at 80 degrees, it would still drop down to closer down to 60, 62 or whatever. So yeah, the scanmytesla is jumping pretty quick, so it's throttling that heater pretty quickly. So I think you'll kind of miss some of the blips possibly, and so I would probably trust the DC current sensor to be a little truer to the actual current draw. But yeah, it's, we're still drawing some power here. And it's still 83 outside. It's cabin temperature 76, 78, exterior 75. I don't know why that is showing that. A little offset there. So I think Tesla might be sneaking a little bit more wattage coming out. This scanmytesla app, they've been fighting, trying to keep the thing current, because they tend to change the CAN commands from build to build. So it's hard to trust, but generally whenever I see the PTC heater toggling in the scanmytesla, I'm always gonna see that current being pulled from the cabin heater. So yeah, so I've been on auto this whole time, and you can see it's still constantly drawing over half an amp roughly, and we're at 370 volts, whatever that works out to be. That's fair amount of power. That's just all we want is cooling. So if you want to get crazy and just dump it up to 73, you can see that cabin heater kicks up real quick. So just going from 72 to 73 on the sensor, on the our temperature set point, it really kicks up the current draw. But then it drops down, but it will start coming right back up. It seems to try to figure itself out, and then it goes back to freaking out. There it comes back, starts coming back. And then it starts coming pretty strong. So this is when you got to be careful. As the outside temperature gets closer to your temp set point, the stronger the cabin heater seems to want to be used. So the app thinks the car is at 78 degrees, but our set point's at 73. Why are we adding this much heat? Why are we trying to add heat to the car when it's, you know, over 78 degrees outside? It's depending on who you believe. If you believe the exterior 75, or is it 83? I can tell you it's definitely over 75 outside. So I don't want to use this power. I don't want to add heat to my car when it's baking outside, and it just makes no sense. Total waste of power to be just drawing this much juice constantly. I'm trying to record this at the same time here, but using my phone as another recording device here. I don't know how people can justify this as being cool or okay or no big deal. It's like over 600 watts, 500 watts. Just when it's super hot outside, and my temperature set points, it's just 73. So we can hopefully dispel the myth that auto would somehow get rid of this power draw. So let's, I don't know, we could sit here for an hour, and I'm telling you, it's gonna dip down to zero every once in a while, and then it'll come right back. And you know, trying to make these requests on the Tesla, you know, feature requests, bug fixes stuff, and various Reddit threads, and I tend to get like, what's your concern? What's the big deal? Why are you being so ridiculous? It just put it in auto, forget about it. Don't worry about it. But I hate heat, and I can't I'm not really a fan of wasteful stuff either. So, you know, 500 watts, you know, 300 to 1,000 watts, whatever. I'd say it's averaging 500. Is just ridiculous to waste when I'm in my battery-powered car. That's, you know, pretty range limited. It's great range for electric car, but I'm, you know, trying to make it to the next supercharger, going through a desert with my AC on. I don't want to be cranking the heater on, paying the, you know, taxing my battery wasting power to try to heat my car when it's I'm just trying to cool it down. So anyways, I could just sit here and rant forever, but let's just turn off auto. And you know, that's not going to change. It's the auto and manual, there's no difference. The only way you can turn off the heater, the cabin heater, is to turn, you can dial down the temperature, but then like once it gets a little closer to that set point, it's gonna start coming on again. It'll take, you know, about 5 minutes, but once it gets closer, it'll start using the power again. But we were at 73. So it's going to take a second, you know, put it back to 73. And shortly, it's going to start coming back up. There, it starts coming up now. So let me check my other site, my other app here, Tesla. I don't know if this other phone is somehow not updating properly. Oh, that's why. Okay, so a previous app was lying. It's 83 outside, 73 inside. So there you have it. Exterior 83, interior 73. My cheapo meter is not reading that high. Anyways, so yeah, we're 73 still, and cabin heater is kicking. And I believe as the temperature outside drops, we're gonna get a little bit more current drawn by the cabin heater as the two temperatures get closer. I've noticed it sort of starts picking up, which is not cool. It just dropped down to 0 watts for a second. Blipping up. But it updates so quick, this CAN bus. That I think you miss some of the little blips, but I think this DC current sensor is definitely a little slower than what's going to be digitally reported by the app here, but it's pretty quick itself. It turns off, if I just, I guess I could do it in the app. So I'm going to drop it down to 70. See, it goes down to 0 fairly quick. Put it back to 73, the same as temperature as the inside. And again, it always takes a second but it always will start ramping up again once it gets once it figures out that it wants to keep getting cooler. Okay, there it goes. So it just started again. I saw it blip up on the scanmytesla, and then you can see it starting to ramp up again on the DC current meter. So I think I should show it already. I wish I guess I got another light here. I could show you. DC current sensor. Got it wrapped around that wire going to the cabin heater, and then it's connected to my little Arduino that's doing the processing. So yeah, this has been a bug for the entirety of the Model 3, from what I understand. All models with the resistive cabin heater have this problem, and I am unsure about cars with the heat pump. Yeah, it's hard to get people to get this thing to get tested, but I suspect it might to be trying to heat the car. Similarly, but all Model 3s and Model Ys with the resistive cabin heater have this excessive heater usage when only cooling is desired bug. So I verified that with the service center, and a couple years ago, and I sort of went on this mini quest to try to figure out if I could somehow like spoof the heater to can't make an in between man in the middle attack, so that I could report nominal status to the Tesla master and not kick on the heater all the time. But I sort of never actually went through with that, but instead I just pulled the cabin heater plug, the CAN connectors to the cabin heater, and that disabled the heater, but unfortunately it also caused some system air problems, so I couldn't like start cooling the car down remotely because it would complain about the cabin heater not being good. So I had to reattach it, and found that setting the temp to low was the only way to fully disable the heater. Otherwise, you'll constantly be using it. You know what? It's probably better that I just use this guy. Actually, no. So, oops. Did not mean to turn on that back heater. Seat heater, but yeah, so exterior still 83. So that does match up with the outside temperature there, so that's good. But we're drawing a constant power to the cabin heater. And I don't think anyone in their right mind would think, 800, 700, 800 watts would be going to the cabin heater when you're 83 outside and it's just super hot outside, and we're trying to cool the car down, and it just continues to add heat to the system inside our it just does not make any sense. And it just really bugs me. Can't imagine any use for this much heat being used. Some people were talking about humidity. I can tell you it is not humid at all, right? Well, it's 29% humidity, according to my little sensor here. It's pretty low. Why would you need to heat the car? So we're holding strong at 83 outside. That's pretty constant, which is good for our test. It's not like it's cold front is coming in. It's pretty, not too windy out here. Yeah, so I'm just using a calculator. I was incorrect earlier. It's the scanmytesla looks pretty spot on still. 1.75 amps times 380 volts is 665 watts. So yeah, we were seeing that stick around there. 1.5 amps. .5 amps at 380 volts is 570 watts. So definitely seems like we're sticking around, the 1.5 amp area, which gets you around 570 watts, which is roughly what we're seeing on the scanmytesla if you average it out. But I don't know who wants to defend this. I just can't understand why people. I don't like when people leave their lights on when they're not home. Myself included. I don't go out, and if I got 100 5-watt LEDs, that's if I randomly had 100 of those, I wouldn't just leave them on when I left the house. And I for sure wouldn't want to leave them on inside my car, my battery powered car, when I'm driving. I got the AC running every day, all day, pretty much anytime I'm driving it, because especially in the summer here in Los Angeles, it's never cool. So yeah, now it's trying to dip down a little lower, but it blips down every once in a while. It'll try to say, oh, it's like it's trying to figure itself out. Oh, maybe we shouldn't add heat to the car. And then it gets back into its normal steady state mode, which is, above 500 amps. Watts, which is, I'd say, averaging. But you can see it jump up higher from time to time. Every once in a while it drops down a little bit here. Then it hugs a little higher, 780, 780 watts. Hugs that, and it jumped 900 there for a second. 780, 625, 700, 625, 700, 780. Holding 780, it jumped to 9 really quick. It's amazing how fast it's jumping around. I can't imagine, I don't know if they're PWMing this this heater with simulated PWMing by sending CAN commands insanely fast. I don't know what's going on. So I sort of trust the current sensor is what's really happening. So the DC current, the clamp, you can't really fool that thing. So these digital signals can do whatever they want, but that thing's gonna tell you the closer to what the real thing is happening. So getting really close to 2 amps there. Our battery, 386 volts right now. My full rated range, ideal range, is 303 miles. Started at 325, 40,000 miles ago. So I've lost a little bit of range, but I've tried to recalibrate that a couple times, and I get a couple miles back, but I don't think I'm gonna pass 310 again. So yeah, we're getting, say, 390 volts now. Temperatures still 73 inside, 83 outside. So 10-degree difference. You would never think that you would want to add heat, this much heat, constantly. So yeah, 390 volts at 2 amps is 780 watts. So yeah, we've seen it blip up there. I've seen it, So I'd say that on the whole, the scanmytesla is pretty darn close. I wish I could have the time being reported on this thing as well, but I guess you'll have to take my word for it. This is real time, I guess, while I'm talking. But like I say, I could have overdubbed this, but I'm trying to prove I'm not trying to be a Tesla hater. I still am a big fan of the car, just not, a few little glitches here. Not really. Just little things like this just bugs me. So knowing that there's a huge fleet of cars out there wasting this power bugs me. Having all the Tesla, fanboys being just super anti to anything that's remotely not the best thing about Tesla. Just not even want to hear it. Just put it in auto, forget about it. Just put it in auto, forget about it. Don't worry about it. I can't, can't let that fly. This thing it's been 3 years, over 3 years, evidently longer ever since the 3 came out, but mine's a 2019. Got it in June. And evidently this has been the same bugs in even the Model S's and the Ys with the resistive cabin heater. So I'm pretty sure there's a good chance it's stuck around. Yeah. What?
I was gonna put the alarm on, but I didn't know if you were gonna go back in.
Oh yeah, I'll go back in. Yeah, I'll lock up.
There for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Yep. Not sure how much more I need to sit here and prove that this is a thing. Because people are going to, for sure, find some fault with this. And yeah, I'd like to get a much more professional DC current clamp sensor and, faster resolution, faster update speed, and, maybe we'll chart it on a scope, and you can see exactly what's happening with these little blips. But I don't know how you can support this. Why are we heating the car? Still 73, 83 outside. Pretty confident we're definitely drawing over average of 5 or 600 watts. Alright, as I said, that drops down to closer to 300, so that maybe we're getting close to that reset mode, or it tries to recalibrate itself. Maybe it does some kind of HVAC reset every like 5 minutes or something like that, or now it's back, jumped right back up. So that little reset moment, or feels like that happens pretty quick, but now I think we're still in that calibration mode here. It's trying to figure itself out. It jumps right back up. Now trying to calibrate. I'm just guessing what the code's doing. I'm a firmware developer myself, so I have some knowledge on this subject. So this video is about 45 minutes now. 45 minutes of me sitting here rambling. So anyone that's listening to this, sorry if you just wasted that time with me, but hopefully you're listening to some good music or something. Should probably put a warning, mute this video, just look at the readings only, so you don't have to hear me rambling on and complaining about this thing. I think that might just do it for me. I think I'm gonna, it's definitely not going down. We're going up to 860 watts now. Drawing over 2 amps on the current sensor. I don't think anyone would say it's, once I open my mouth it drops down, so maybe it's in a reset mode again, but there's a major hysteresis bug in this HVAC code. That's all I suspect the cabin heat, the AC evaporator is going a little too strong, and it's not turning off properly, so the cabin heater is being used to sort of supplement or try to fight that and sort of set the temp. So if I pull the cabin heater, the temp is gonna drop way lower than what my set point is. I'd prove that right now, but I don't feel like ripping out the thing. I already made a video about it. So yeah, if I pulled the cabin heater can connector right now, the interior temperature would start dropping, down closer to 62. If I had the set point at 72. So my suspicion is that the cabin heater is being used to truly set the temperature by bringing it back up to match your set point on the GUI, on our one temperature set point. So the quick fix would probably be just to fix this bug and not have the cabin heater being used in a situation like this. But the better option, so the outside dropped just a little bit, 82 outside and 73 inside still. Better option would be to add, on this GUI, shrink this whole animation vent display, or maybe just widen this up a little bit more, and have a thermostat. Oops, I just dropped it down to 72 and back to 73 by accident. But, have a little, either an on and off temp for when you want the heater to come on, at what temp below, and at what temp above turn on the AC. Either just like something like that, or make it like cooler with like a Nest type GUI that resembled a thermostat, like a home thermostat. So that's about it, guys. Sorry about the rambling. That's about it. I'm gonna sign up.